Alberta is now asking Ottawa to send troops to help fight the wildfires burning across the province. Nearly 30,000 people have been forced from their homes. As of this morning, there are still 88 active wildfires. 25 of those fires are out of control. So what if there was a faster way to detect the fires and to stop these fires from spreading so quickly? For that, let's turn to science and technology expert Dan Riskin. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you say that fires are natural. We know that. What factors are at play that cause these fires to become so big so fast?
Yeah, so there's an interesting thing that our unwillingness to have fires happen causes us to suppress them. And then when they do happen, they're much larger than they would have been otherwise. In a natural ecosystem, you have trees of all different ages, and you have bush and brush, and there's a whole diversity of different things out there. And as a fire goes through, it sort of picks off the oldest trees and makes space for other trees to grow into those places. And so as a result, over time, a fire only has so much there that's really going to burn when it goes through. But what we've done in North America and around the world is we've built these cities and we've made these roads. And when there's a small fire, we don't like that. So we put out the fire very quickly before it has time to prune out the older trees. And so what ends up happening is you get a forest with the whole distribution of ages is old. You have all old trees in an area that have never burned. And then when a fire does hit, it's all kindling. All of it goes. Right. And so you end up with a monster fire that otherwise would have been much smaller. So it's ironic, but fire suppression over the long term actually leads to these very big fires when they do happen.
That's certainly interesting perspective. I hadn't thought about it that way. And I have to say, traditionally, so what happens typically when a fire is burning, especially a wildfire, we send a helicopter up. They sort of take a look to sort of get the sense of how big this thing is. But now we have access to things like drones and satellites. What kind of role are they playing?
Yeah, it's really changing the way we can perceive a fire and how much data we can have on the ground right away. Helicopters are wonderful, but they're very expensive. They require expert operation. Drones are much easier to use. Learning how to use them is much easier than learning how to fly a helicopter. And honestly, if one gets burned or gets too close to the flames, it's not as big a deal as if a helicopter does. And so drones are absolutely giving firefighters the ability to see a fire from a different perspective very quickly. And of course, you can outfit drones with heat cameras, so it's not just visual, so the smoke doesn't cause as big a problem as it would otherwise. And then satellite data gives you not just where the fire is, but also just the lay of the land. And so you know exactly where where breaks might occur, where a river is, things like that just give you information that you need right now when you're fighting a fire.
That's so helpful. And we know that other countries are using technology to help sense fires. These sensors, I understand, in Italy, how are they being used?
Yeah, in Sardinia, they had a very big fire, and part of the problem was that nobody knew it was happening until it was much too late. And so what they've done is they've almost wired their forest the way you would wire your home. They've put basically smoke detectors through the forest at a bunch of different places, and they all talk to each other through Wi-Fi, and then they connect to, at the edge of the forest, there's something connected to the network that talks to home. And so that forest can alert you remotely if something's going wrong. If there's a fire or if there's smoke or whatever it is, it can let people know right away to come come put it out before it gets too big. And so this is just another way that technology is really changing the game against forest fires.
And a smoke bot and quake helmet, what are those? How do they help?
Yeah, and so engineers are always looking for ways to bring their ideas and to throw things at the firefighting world and see, does this help? And so that's a smoke bot right there. It's a robot that can go into a burning building and take a look around, see through the smoke using infrared cameras, give you temperature sensing, give you readings of the different chemicals that are in the air, things that you otherwise need a person to go in and do at great risk. If the ceiling collapses on a robot, it's an expensive day, but it's not really that bad a day. And so having those kinds of tools can really make a difference. There's also a helmet which has augmented reality. It's called the Quake helmet, and that's been brought into the game. So that view that you're seeing there would be the view you literally saw through your helmet. You're looking through glass, but it's projecting those kinds of augmented things onto the glass so that you have more information than you would otherwise. So it could be the outline of what's in front of you, but it could also be a map of where you are, almost like a video game where you can see your little character in the top corner and know exactly where you need to go. So those technologies could be changing things a lot.
Yeah, technology helping. All right, Dan, thanks so much for walking us through this. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Obviously, want to mention our thoughts with anybody affected by the wildfires right now in Western Canada.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.